Hey everyone. Last time I presented on the ideas of torture and how many people frown down upon it. And I kind of wanted to look a little bit further into that idea, but I wanted to take a different angle with it and look at some of the lasting effects that it has on people. It's pretty easy to see the physical effects that it has, but um, it's oftentimes overlooked are all the psychological effects that happen, much like the PTSD that we're seeing in all of our military personnel now for some of the experiences they've gone through. So I found an article through the CINAHL uh, database on USD's website, which is a health-based database. Um, so the article is called "Humiliation: The Lasting Effects of Torture" by Vorbruggen and Baer, and it's from the Military Medicine Journal. It gives a lot of citations to a lot of UN personnel and Swiss military personnel. So it kind of gives a background just about what the regulations are for torture, and it says that uh, 129 of the 189 UN states have agreed to the terms of the Convention Against Torture, which basically says that torture will not be tolerated in a time of peace or war, regardless of the situation. Um, and what I appreciated about the article is it recognized that it's something that's been around for so long and uh, has always just been frowned upon, but has never really been stopped. It gives examples all the way back in the medieval times when people did it, but it even gives more specific examples of when the early 1900s in the Russian gulags and all the way up till the post 9/11 times, and about how the American government actually didn't comply with the Geneva Convention until 2005, which even that is still debated. Like I talked about in the last presentation about how the movie Zero Dark 30 depicts a lot of torture techniques used, and how even though we're one of the countries that have agreed to this, it's still something we use. Um, and along with that, it discusses how there's this misconception out there that torture is only used in dictatorial countries, when in fact many countries use the techniques even after agreeing to the Geneva Convention and the Convention Against Torture. So the purpose of this article it was basically to describe the psychological effects that torture have on people that just all too often gets overlooked. Um, and right in the title there it says humiliation, lasting effects of torture. That's the big word that they focused on in it. Um, it describes how the humiliation of the victim is the ultimate goal, and it gives some pretty recent examples that it goes into a lot of detail about too that are pretty gruesome. Shame, the word shame is another big one used because it's just another big topic that the author says it grows from humiliation. It talks about how the victims, when they are freed or whatever it may be, they have a hard time communicating how they're feeling and describing their experiences because they're so deeply humiliated and ashamed of the things that they had to experience and go through. That's where it's very relatable to PTSD, that they just kind of think nobody understands them, which most people probably don't. But overall, I think this is a pretty good article. It gives a good look at the psychological aspects of torture methods used and how it really doesn't. It's not just a momentary thing. It doesn't just break a person down for that day or that week or whatever. It's got lasting effects and a lasting impact on their life that um, that's very tough to recover from. So that's basically the gist of it. Um, I I enjoyed all of all the different stories. I went into a lot of the history behind torture and how it's changed over the years. Uh, and I actually learned quite a bit from it, even like when I was talking about the Russian gulags. Um, that's something that I've never really learned about before, but have looked into it more now just because of what this article has shown me from it. So